Okay, it's actually so dark. Can you see me? Okay, next relationship to examine is the dichotomy between permanence and significance. Because I have struggled with a fear of permanence for many years now, maybe even my whole life. And I've talked about that openly on my channel, on my podcast multiple times, and I've found like no relief from it, basically. Yeah, like I'm a committal, loyal person, but I struggle when things aren't fluid. Like there's no sense of like, I don't know, renewal or like return on it. Like you're just stuck. Like tattoos, children, marriage, these are all things that you can, wriggle your way out of. Like you can get tattoos removed. I'm not going to speak about the children one. You can get divorced. But yeah, I struggle when I'm like, oh, I can't take the tattoo off when I'm not feeling like it. Like thinking about like, I would really love to have facial hair, but I don't want to start testosterone. And then my voice drops and there's nothing hormonally you can do to like get it back. You just have to like voice train yourself basically. So versus something like moving to Seattle, I was always telling myself, if you hate it, you can move back. It's not permanent. And that's how I really like assure myself or comfort myself. But lately I've been questioning, why do I put such a premium on permanent experiences? Like, why do I feel insufficient because I don't have like a strong relationship with that or a strongly positive relationship with that? Because what I find more valuable than permanence is significance. Like, I don't want something to be permanently in my life if it's not significant. Like, just because something's not around for eternity doesn't mean it's not extremely valuable and sacred and amazing to you. And I feel like I'm someone who experiences a lot of like romantically flings and brief encounters. And also I have a great deal of like long distance friends where it's like our friendship happens in spasms. Like we have episodes of friendship and then we go months, maybe even years without seeing each other. And so in that way, they're not permanently in my life. They're of course a fixture of my life, but not like a very constant. Constance, I guess, could be another axis on this, but like not in a very constant or permanent way. But I think really what I'm seeking is like experiences of significance. And so even if I don't feel ready to like adopt a cat for 14 years, I could still have a significant experience with my neighbor's kitten, with a foster cat,
Prior to reframing this understanding of permanence and its disconnection from significance, I felt loosely deficient for not being able to make the kinds of permanent decisions I see my peers around me make. I felt oppositional to permanence and defiant in the face of it. And now I'm coming to a more political determination of those feelings in that permanence is something the state wants us to believe exists. It wants us to limit our imaginations that something could change, that another world is possible, because once you resign yourself to the permanence of a situation, you may resign yourself from taking action and plotting towards a course of change. Permanence almost disengages you from engineering any difference. Like, permanence is hegemony, when really everything is constantly being built. There is no terminal state of being. As David Graeber says, the ultimate hidden truth of the world is that it is just something we make and could just as easily make something different. Divorcing the notion of permanence from my selfhood and looking outwardly, nothing's ever done. I guess I just resist the complacency that can so often come with permanence. Even if you achieve a political goal or make strides in some resistance, you're always building upon that. Or if things break apart, you're repairing them. Our climate is constantly changing. Permanence is a falsehood, it's a fallacy. And to remarry the notion of permanence back to the self, I saw this tweet that there is no transcendent identity that is true and you are. It's all based on what currently is and what has been. As one of my friends said, people are a collection of impulses and we fashion identities around how consistently we feel those impulses. We're not talking about tattoos and cats anymore. We've departed.
Okay, speaking about permanence and significant, one thing that is very impermanent and ever-changing is the way you smell. And sometimes that's significant in a positive way and sometimes in a negative way. And the sponsor of today's video is seeking to assist with that is Lumi. Lumi has 8 different scents available. I just showed you the toasted coconut. Their products were invented by OBGYN Shannon Klingman, and they are cruelty-free, baking soda-free, vegan, skin-safe, paraben-free, and pH optimized to use anywhere on your body. The scents I got were the toasted coconut, clean tangerine, lavender sage, cool cucumber, and then the soft powder. And what I like about them is they're not too heavy-handed, but they still deliver. I have been using my bike to commute a lot more, and that means that usually I'm showing up places in potentially many different states of being. So it's nice to have just a pack of these. They're acidified deodorant wipes. So if I just need to spot my lower back, I can do that before running into my body work appointment and potentially alarming someone who's about to massage my body for an hour. Lumi is clinically proven to block odor all day and continues controlling BO for 72 hours. Plus, it won't stain your clothes, so no matter where you use it, you're not gonna end up with marks, which is an issue for me. They also have aluminum-free products available if that's your speed, and if it's not, they have stuff for you too. If you've been looking for a better way to regulate your personal scent, and you'd like to support my channel while doing it, Lumi is offering an extra $5 off their starter pack bundle, which is what I got: full-size stick deodorant, cream deodorant tube or spray deodorant, and 2 free products like the mini body wash or the wipes. That ships anywhere in the US for free, and you just gotta use Katherout at the link in the description when you check out, and you'll get over 40% off. Thank you for watching, and let's continue on with the confessional. I just got a notification on my phone, one of 30,000 every day that attempts to dysregulate me, that my period is expected to start any day in the next 2 weeks, which is actually right on time for a conversation I've been having with myself and others around uncertainty that I'd like to open up to you all today. Glasses back on for this conversation, because to me, that seemingly benign notification was emblematic of somewhat of a timeless struggle human nature has had with certainty. As one philosopher more or less put it, some of us would rather accept the certainty of misery than the misery of uncertainty. And I see that Apple Health period notification as an attempt to reconcile the uncertainty that many of us feel around when's that gonna drop, you know? Concert dates, it's clear when the tour announcement goes out when tickets will be available. Like, for the 1 or 2 rogue sneakerheads I may have in my audience, like, when a new pair of shoes drops, it's very clear when that's going to happen. But like, your body, there's no telling. And that's frustrating because we want to know. But in my case, as someone with a very dysregulated system and multiple chronic illnesses that really disrupt my hormonal balance, and even if you don't have those things, like, your cycle could be really irregular. And so that notification to me was sort of a false promise. It feels a little bit fraudulent that an app can try to estimate these things. And it's clear that they don't have their algorithms down, because your period may start anytime in the next 2 weeks. That's literally so unhelpful. That's a coin flip. Like, okay, 50% of the time, I'm just supposed to expect that this can happen to me. Like, okay, I guess that's a little bit better than 100% of the time. And it made me think about this essay that Rain Fisher Kwan wrote, where she said that women are born with the pain baked in. Like, we have an understanding of that. And in a way, when some of us hit puberty, the uncertainty is baked in. Like, you're never going to be able to accurately predict down to the minute, like, when you need to put a menstrual cup in or a tampon in, or for those of us that free bleed, when that's going to go down. But so much is like sold to us, and so much is commodified around a receipt of certainty, like a bill of goods of what will happen. But that's just not a quest you should even pursue on the side. Like, and to walk it back to what I was talking about in the beginning stroll of this video, I don't think my fraught relationship with permanence can be divorced from our desire for certainty either. I think permanence and certainty are in a polycule ideologically. And I think part of my resistance to embracing permanence is that I don't believe it will guarantee certainty. Like, I think it's very romantic to publicly declare that you're going to pair your life together with someone for eternity. But I don't think marriage promises permanence or certainty. And I think in a dating context, I've grown up with an interpretation that the highest form of a relationship is a permanent one, that is an ideal we should be striving towards. There's this one line in 500 Days of Summer that I return to, amongst many lines I return to, because that film holds profound truths about desire and expectation, that basically the two main characters get in a fight. They're in a situationship as we'd come to know it today. But back then, they didn't have the terminology for it. And Summer comes to Tom's door in the middle of the night to apologize. And he tells her, I just want to wake up in the morning and know that you feel the same way about me. Like, I want to go to bed every night and wake up in the morning knowing your feelings haven't changed. And instead of, like, trying to affirm him or, like, please him and quiet his discontentment, she says, well, I can't give you that, Tom. Nobody can. And she ate him up with that. And it was so candid and honest that it really struck me, because I watched that movie for the first time in high school, and then I watched Ratatouille. And it too confirmed that the only certain thing in life is its uncertainty. The only permanent thing in life is its impermanence. And those two coupled together produced an understanding in me that the reasons our feelings change are often inscrutable, and like it feels misguided sometimes to try and wrangle permanence or wrangle certainty when you just don't have it. And in fact, I think instead of pushing to determine the exact time my period will arrive down to the minute, down to the second, down to the nano moment, I'd be better off just accepting that I will never exactly know, but I can come to familiarize myself maybe with the events that surround it and extrapolate something from that. But if we're choosing between the misery of uncertainty or the certainty of misery, I'm going with the misery of uncertainty every time. Literally every time. And maybe even trying to make it not as miserable, because I have a very loving and tender relationship with mystery and the amusement and discovery that can come from it. I actually love the inconvenience of untangling wired headphones in order to use them. Because you know what? You need to struggle a little bit. How bad do you want to listen to that music? How much do you want it? Things have gotten too easy. You shouldn't be able to log into Instagram unlimited number a day. That's too much. That's gluttony. We need to not advocating for purity, but we need to heal and not over given to the profit motive. Boom. We're doing all this stupid shit. You fucked me up like this.